One, two, three, one, two, three. Can you hear me now? One, two, three, one, two, three. That's all. Okay, good. So, yeah, let's. Uh, okay, so you're hearing this microphone, right? So kind of is Benji communicating with you on there? So I know. I'm just waiting for you to tell me whether he can hear me. Just wait. Okay, now I'm going to try the other mic. Hang on a sec. Okay, check one, two. All right, Bench. Let Ema know if you can hear me now. Checking one, two, one, two, one, two. Check one, two, one, two. Okay, so that means that that she can hear me. All right. Hello. Okay, now we're going to try the guitar, but we're going to try the guitar without the mic for a moment. And from the school. Yeah, yeah. They're graduating this year. Yeah, so we're all going to graduate together. Yeah, hang on just one second. I'm just setting up the system, and then. So Benji, can you hear me now, Benji? Can you hear the guitar? And now, can you hear me talk? And can you hear me? And is the balance okay? So I'm talking and I'm playing the guitar, and I'm not using the guitar mic yet. And you can tell me whether you can hear me. Oh, yes, goy. All right. And does the balance seem to be okay? Oh, yes, goy, el goy, cherev. Lo yumedu od milchama. Okay, so let me turn the guitar. So now I'm going to plug the guitar in, and we'll see where'd the bag go. Here it is. Nothing in there. Ah, here it is. Okay, so hang on a sec. Let me turn this on, and let me turn this on. Well, there's no mic, there's no loudspeaker in here. So yeah, I will do it later. Yeah. Okay, now the guitar is plugged in and everything is operating. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm turning it down a little. How is this? Is this better? 1, 2, 3. Lo yisagoy el goy cherev. Vayumedu od milchama. Is good now? Okay, we are in business. Yeah. Okay, so let me turn up the guitar a little. And that, oh, it's perfect. All right, we're getting two. All right, so we're going to plug the guitar in. All right. So I don't know how to do that. So I'll just play the guitar louder because the guitar is plugged into the Shure microphone jack and all right. So I'll just play the guitar louder. Okay. All right. Let's put this away. Yeah. Yeah. Go in the front. They should be on a walkie-talkie with the custodian. All right. So when you talk, you're going to talk into here. Yeah. It works. Just make sure you put the on on. All right, let's just put this, we'll put this here. All right. Very good. All right, let's get this situated here for all of these people who are watching. And so you should be able to see me. And all right, I'm going to turn my mic off for now. And let's hope I remember to turn it back on again. Okay, so we are going to begin in just a few minutes, and thank you all for tuning in. Uh, Wave if you can hear me okay. Yeah, okay, good. Thank you. Let's get ourselves ready to go. And maybe a cellar or two are out there as well. Who knows? So we're starting in 2 minutes. Hi, Judy. Hello, Swipers. Welcome. Hi, Claire. Good. How are you? Very good. Very good. We are going to begin in 10 seconds. So if you'll be putting on a talit, get your talit ready to go. Those of you who are at home, you can, if you have a talit, get it ready to go for our donning the talits. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. If you are going to be putting on a talit and have not yet done so, please rise and we can say the bracha together. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehit atef batzitzit. And please put it on, and we begin our service with page 14 at letter E. Yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim. V'tagel haaretz. Yeram hayam. Yeram hayam. Yeram hayam. Umalo. Oh, Yeram hayam. Yeram hayam. Yeram hayam. Umalo. Oh, Oshia et amecha. Uvarech et nachlatecha. Ureim, 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 ureim v'nasem. Ureim v'nasem ad ha'olam. Oshia et amecha. Uvarech et nachlatecha. Ureim, 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 ureim v'nasem. Ureim v'nasem ad ha'olam. Mizmor, Mizmor, Shir, Shir Yom HaShabbat, 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 Mizmor, Shir, Shir Yom HaShabbat, Mizmor, Shir, Shir Yom HaShabbat. Page 15. Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach. Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach. Ki erez balvanon yiske, ki erez balvanon yiske, ki erez balvanon yiske, yiske. Ki eres balvanon yiske, ki eres balvanon yiske, ki eres balvanon yiske, yiske. Mikolot mayim rabim adirim, mishpareyam adir bamarom Adonai. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Malchutecha, malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha, bechol ador vador. Malchutecha, malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha, bechol dor vador. Malchutcha. Malchut kol olamim umemshaltecha bechol dor vador. Malchut kol olamim umemshaltecha bechol dor vador. Va'anachnu nevarech ya me'ata v'yad olam. Me'ata v'yad olam. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah, hallelujah, betziltzilei shama. Hallelujah, hallelujah, betziltzilei trua. Kol hanshama tehallelya. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehallelya. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Please rise. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach. Hamevorach leolam ba'ed. Hamevorach, Hamevorach leolam ba'ed. Please be seated. And we are on page 14. El Adon kol hamaasim baruch umvorach befi kol nishama gadlo betuvo male olam da'at udvuna sovevimoto. Amidga el chayot hakodesh v'nedar b'chavod al hamerkava zichud mishor lifnei chiso hesed v'rachamim lifnei chevodo tovim me'orot shebara Eloheinu yitzaram b'da'at b'vina uv'haskel koach ugvura natan bahem lihiot moshlim b'kerev teva maleim zev u'mavikim noga נעזיבם בכל העולם, שמחים בצאתם וששים בבואם, עושים בהם הרצון קונם. באר וכבוד נותנים לשמו, צהלה ורינה לזכר מלכותו, קרא לשמש ויזרח אור רעה והתקין צורת הלבנה. שבח נותנים לו כל צבא מרום, תפארת וגדולה, שרפים ואופנים בחיות הקודש. לי לה לי לי לה לי לי ילה לה לה לי ילה לה 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 לי לה לי לי ילה לה לה לי ילה לה לה לי lie, 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 la, lie, 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 la, lie, lie, la, lie, ya, la, 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 lie, ya, lie, 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 lie. אור חדש הציון תאיר ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורות. אור חדש הציון תאיר ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורות. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות, אהבה רבה אהבתנו, אדוני אלוהינו, חמלה גדולה ותרחמת עלינו. אבינו מלכנו, בעבור אבותינו שבטחו בך, שבטחו בך, אבינו מלכנו. ותלמדם חוקי חיים, כן תחננו ולמדנו, אבינו האב הרחמן, המרחם רחם עלינו. ותן בליבנו להבין ולהשכיל לשמוע, ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות, ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה. והאר עינינו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבינו לאהבה וליראה את שמך, ולא נבוש לעולם ועד, ולא נבוש לעולם ועד, כי בשם קודשך הגדול והנורא בטחנו, נגילה ונשמחה, נגילה ונשמחה וישועתך. We gather our tzitzit together. והביאנו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ ותוליכנו קוממות לארצנו כאל פועל ישועות אתה. ובאנו בחרתם בקולם בלשון וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול סלע באמת, להודות לך ולייחדך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה. שמע Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvelechtecha v'derech uveshachbecha uvekumecha ukeshartam liot al yadecha vehayu letotafot beinecha uchetavatam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Page 18. The Lord said to Moses, speak to the children of Israel and bid them to make tzitzit in the corners of their garments throughout their generations, putting upon the tzitzit of each corner a thread of blue. When you look upon the tzitzit, you will be reminded of all the commandments of the Lord and obey them. You will not be led astray by the inclination of your heart or by the attraction of your eyes. Thus will you be reminded to fulfill all my commandments and be consecrated to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I, the Lord, am your God. Azot, shivachu ahuvim, shivachu ahuvim. V'ramemu, 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 v'ramemu el. V'natenu, v'natenu yedidim. V'natenu, v'natenu yedidim. Zmirot, shirot, v'tishbachot, berachot, v'hodaot. Lemelech el chai v'kayam ram v'nisa gadol v'nora mashpil geim umagbi ashifalim motzi asiri mufode anavim v'yo zerdalim the oneliam of the oneliam of the eight Shavam Mela Tehilot le'el Elyon Baruch Mevorach Moshe Uvenei Yisrael Achandu Shira Pesimcha Rabba V'yamaru Chulam Mi Chamocha Bo'elim Adonai Mi Kamocha Nedar Bakodesh Nora Tehilot Osefele Shira Chadasha Shibachu Geulim L'Shimcha Asfat Hayam Yachad Kulam Hodu V'Himlichu V'Yamaru Adonai Yimloch Leolam Va'ed. So before we offer our own private prayers of thankfulness, we're going to offer communal thanks in first places for the birthdays that are being celebrated in our congregation. So we know that some people who are online are celebrating birthdays, and so we're going to mention both those who are here and those who are joining us virtually. And Paul Loomis is celebrating a birthday. Clara Rosenbluth, happy birthday to Clara, 89 years old this month. Robin Berman is celebrating a birthday. Paul Stoiffer celebrating a 75th birthday. Happy birthday, Paul. Gloria Weinstein, Fran Kabalnik celebrating a birthday. Anybody else celebrating a birthday who I did not mention this month? Okay, let's wish them all a happy birthday. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. And now let us have you share what you are thankful for. Judy, please share. Very nice. Booster shots. Who else would like to show what you are thankful for? Mike? Very good. Thank you. So if you had the COVID shot, if you do get COVID, it's not as bad. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Paula. Very nice. Thank you. Who else would like to show what you are thankful for? Davida. Nice. Thank you, Davida. Marilyn. All CVS. Oh, very nice. So Moderna now has a booster shot at CVS. Thank you. Nice. Who else would like to show what you're thankful for? Our president, Jordan. Thank you, Jordan. Who else would like to share what you are thankful for? Okay, Stan Schroeder, and we've got a mic for you. So come on up, and now everybody will be able to hear you. talked about the two stories of creation and what they mean in various aspects. So if you're interested in looking at another way of looking at stories, besides what we look at here, I recommend that. And what I have prepared for today is that I sent out an email Thursday evening that had a link to the opening of the Expo 2020, now 2021, of course, what I put in the link article is a little bit about the Israeli pavilion there and more about the history of expos and world fairs designed this movement starting in the early 1900s. And rather than repeat that, I want to talk about the expo that is Israel's there. And the commissioner, Elazar Cohen of Israel's Pavilion, inspired by an open tent concept. Israel's Pavilion will be open from end to end and feature 7 gates that visitors can walk through as they climb a slope that forms the roof of the main area below. The internal sides of the gates will have LED screens where information about Israel and its culture will be projected. Underneath the main area will tell the story of Israel's heritage, culture, and its people. It says transmit that we are part of a region and embracing everyone. And the final message is to collaborate and cooperate and help to create synergies for people in the region. The pavilion specifically on Israel's expertise across a variety of industries, connect with other nations taking part. As we are good in going to show in our pavilion all kinds of possibilities of opportunity, cooperation in many sectors, food security, water, protection of the environment, cyber mobility, and technical issues. So it's a wonderful opportunity. Israel was invited to have this pavilion by the United Arab Emirates more than 2 years ago. And it was well before the Abraham Accords when there was any recognition between the two countries. But they have worked together, and it's been a boon for both Israel, their citizens, and people living there are now able to go nonstop to Dubai in a short time direct. So the Abraham Accords have been a blessing for all of us. And these are my husband runs a company in Russia, and I talked to Jim earlier this morning on Zoom, and he's going to be going to the exhibition, particularly the Israeli one, within the next week or so. Thank you, Stan. Yeshikah. And let us all rise now as we offer our own private prayers of thankfulness. Sur Yisrael, Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael, Ufedei Chinumeha, Yehuda Ve'Yisrael. Go Aleinu Adonai Tzebaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. And we continue quietly. Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha chen v'chesed chesed v'rachamim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael amecha sim shalom tova uvracha chen v'chesed v'rachamim Sim shalom tova uvracha chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael amecha aleinu v'al kol Yisrael amecha sim shalom tova uvracha chen v'chesed v'rachamim Ose shalom, 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 bimromav huya ase shalom, aleinu. Ose shalom, 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 bimromav huya ase shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imaru. Amen. Please be seated. Yitkadav yitkadav shmei rabbah. V'yalmadi v'rachivu tevi mechmachute b'chayechonu v'yomeichonu b'chayechonu beit Yisrael ba'agalav v'zman kari v'imaru. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam Leomei Omaya Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpoar V'Yitramah V'Yinaseh V'Yithadar V'Yitalev V'Yithalal Shemei D'Kudesha B'Richu Le'ilam Mikol B'Chatav Shorata Tush B'Chatav V'Nechmata Da'amiran B'Alma V'Yimeru Amen Titgabel S'V'Lorhon V'Odhon D'Cho Yisrael Kadam B'Avun B'Shmai V'Yimeru Amen. Yeshlam Rabba Mitchamay v'Chaim Aleinu v'Al Kol Yisrael v'Yimeru. Amen. Oseh Shalom b'Mromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu v'Al Kol Yisrael v'Yimeru. Amen. We come to our Torah service. Let's give out some honors. Who would like the honor of picking this up from the table and leading us in the Shema B'Echad? Thank you, Lou. And Mike will get you the next time. Who would like the honor of Hagba, picking up the Torah? It's a light Torah this time. But it is all on the left. You're all right with that? Okay. Who would like the honor of binding the Torah, the Galila, wrapping the Torah Davida? Okay, so let us continue with the Torah service, page 19. Ein kamocha ba Elohim Adonai, v'ein kemasecha. Malchutecha, Malchut, Kol Olamim, Umemshaltecha b'chol dor v'ador. Adonai Melech, Adonai Malach, Adonai Yimloch Leolam Va'ed, Adonai Oz Li'amo Yitein. Adonai Yivarech et Amo v'Shalom. Avarachamim Eitiv Avirtzoncha et Zion. Tivnei Chomot Yerushalayim. Tivnei Chomot Yerushalayim. Kivecha levad batachnu melech el ram v'nisa adon olamim. Vayehi bintoa Aaron vayomer Moshe kuma Adonai V'yafutzu oivecha, v'yanusu misanecha mipanecha, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah udevar Adonai mirushalayim Baruch Shenatan Torah Baruch Shenatan Torah Le'amo Yisrael Bigdushato Be'an Arachetz Velishmei Kadisha Yakira Anamaratu Shbechan Be'anarachetz Velishmei Kadisha Yakira Anamartu Shbechan Yehi Ravakadamach Detiftach Libi Bioraita Vitashli mishalin delibi veli badecholamach Yisrael letabu lechayim veli shlam. I said no. Just pick it up in the middle and then just hold it. Yeah. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai Hagedula v'Hagevura v'Hatiferet v'Hanetzach v'Hahod Kiko b'Shamayim u'Va'aretz Kiko b'Shamayim u'Va'aretz Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha We'll all have a chance to have a communal aliyah. And then I'm going to read, because it is, as you heard, the creation story, I'm going to read the first day's creation, part of the sixth day creation, and the seventh day creation. So if everybody could point right here at the beginning and kiss. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamnavorach liolam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah. Breshit bara Elohim et hashamayim liet haaretz v'haaretz hayta tohu vavohu v'choshech al pnei tahom v'ruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim vayomer Elohim yehi or vayehi or vayar Elohim et haor ki tov vayavdel Elohim bein haor uvein hachoshech vayikra Elohim leor yom ulechoshech kara laila Vayhi Voker Yom Echad. Vayivra Elohim et ha'adam b'tzamo b'tzelem Elohim bara oto zachar unekeva bara otam vayivarech otam Elohim vayomer lahem Elohim peru urevu umilu et haaretz uchvasha vayardu b'dagat hayam. Vayichulu hashamayim va'aretz v'chotze va'am vayichal Elohim bayom hashvi'im melachto asher asa vayishpot bayom hashvi'im mikol melachto asher asa vayivarech Elohim et hashvi'i vayikra oto Givo shava mikol malachto asher bara Elohim lasot. Kiss again. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Yasher koach, please be seated. You're all getting a copy of what we're going to take a deep dive into today. So one of the stories that we have in the Torah portion today is the story of Cain and Abel. So let's take a look at it. And what we want to end up with is, what are the takeaways? What are the truths? What are the lessons that we are going to learn from the story? Okay, everybody have a copy? I think I made enough copies. All right. So this is chapter 4 of Genesis, chapter 4 of Bereshit. Now the man knew his wife Eve, and she conceived and bore Cain, saying, I have gained a male child with the help of the Lord. And then she bore his brother Abel. Kind of an afterthought there, but the rabbis say because there's not much more there with the creation of Abel, they apparently are twins. Abel became a keeper of sheep, and Cain became a tiller of the soil. In the course of time, Cain brought an offering to the Lord from the fruit of the soil, and Abel, for his part, brought the choicest of the firstlings of the flock. So the first thing that we need to notice here is that they felt a need to offer a sacrifice. And the question is why? And the rabbis discuss whether this is really an innate quality of man, that we have this urge to offer blessings when something good happens to us. And in this particular case, it was not only the urge to be thankful, but the urge to give back some of what they had, in this particular case, to give back to God some of what they were blessed with. And is this something that we are born with, or something that we grow into learning that we should offer? This seems to suggest that it was just something very, very natural. The Lord paid heed to Abel and his offering, but to Cain and his offering, God paid no heed. So the rabbis ask, why was it that Cain's was rejected and Abel's was accepted? And of course, if you look at the difference between the two, it seems to be how much of what they themselves were part of that offering. That it seems that Cain did not present his offering with a full heart. It says that Abel brought the choicest of the firstlings of his flock, and Cain just seemed to give whatever he had. And one of the interesting questions here is, because God is not going to be happy with what God receives here. And the question is, have you ever received a gift and it was a bad gift? It was not one that you thought they put much effort into, or didn't seem to show very much regard for you because of the perfunctory nature. We seem to have an example over here. So Marilyn, I'm not going to ask you what the example is, but the question is, when we get a gift that we thought could have been amped up a little bit, moved into another level, should we respond the way God did, which is, no, I'm not going to accept it? Or do we accept it being grateful with whatever we get? And I think sometimes we say it's not the gift, it is the fact that it was just given in the first place. I remember when I was a kid, both my parents received perfunctory gifts from me. And my mother knew that she was going to get a perfunctory gift from me because I was not going to shop in the women's section of May Company. I was going to get, and so every year she used to say, you know what? She would always say this right before her birthday: I'm running out of Chanel number 5. So my sister and I bought her Chanel number 5. For my father, he was a reader of books. Whatever I could find on sale, I bought. Didn't matter what the book was, a detective novel. But I mean, my father always received it so graciously. Thank you. I'm going to look at it right now. I'm going to read it this afternoon. It's a beautiful book. I don't know that he ever read those books. But he accepted it with grace. That's not what God does here. God does not accept it with grace. And it would have been nice for God to explain why God did not, because Cain is going to be perplexed. So look at the next sentence. So we'll back up a sentence. The Lord paid heed to Abel and his offering, but to Cain and his offering, God paid no heed. Cain was much distressed, and he fell on his face. And the Lord said to Cain, why are you distressed? And why is your face fallen? So it's clear that Cain has no clue. And maybe when we reject something, when we're unhappy with something, what are the responses that we sometimes give? We give the cold shoulder, we gaslight, we say nothing. And sometimes people say, what's wrong? Why suddenly the change in your attitude toward me? Now, it's kind of hard to say, I didn't like your gift, or I didn't like the look you gave me, or I didn't like something about what just happened. Sometimes we feel it's not a big deal, and just to mention it, it may make us look small. And yet it bothers us enough that it is reflected in our behavior toward people. And wouldn't it be nice if, to satisfy them and to make it a learning experience for them as well, we said, and then try to explain it the best way we can so it doesn't make us sound petty. But what does God respond? Surely if you do right, there is uplift. But if you do not do right, sin couches at the door. Its urge is toward you, yet you can be its master. So the rabbis say, in one particular rabbi, the Ketav Sofer, says the following, in order to understand what does that mean? Sin is at the door. When a man is in his own home, he can easily adhere to the custom way of life. But once he crosses the threshold of his door and passes from his home into the street, his evil impulse will gain ground, because he must now come to grips with obstacles that block the path of his loyalty to Judaism. Sin couches at the door. The evil impulse lies in wait outside the door of your home, waiting for you to emerge so that he may take you unawares. So this whole notion that we're fine at home, we've got all the protection that we have at home to keep us from violating, in this particular case for the Ketav Sofer, Judaism. We've got a kosher kitchen, we've got Shabbat. As soon as we walk outside, we're susceptible to the attraction of the outside world, to its non-kosher restaurants, to its entertainment on Shabbat. And Ketav Sofer says that's where we have to be careful when we leave the house. And so we can ask ourselves, the comfortable Judaism that we have in the house, when we leave the house, what is protecting us? Although I wonder whether in this day and age, it actually is working the other way around. We are finding Judaism outside the house, and then we find distractions when we get into the house. So a lot of people's kosher kitchen is at the synagogue. A lot of people's Jewish associations are at the synagogue. And as soon as they get home again, it's not there. And so the doorway actually becomes where the sin is crouching, but in the opposite direction. And we have to try to understand how that threshold is going to affect our Jewishness. And then it goes on to say, Cain said his brother Abel, ... And when they were in the field, Cain set upon his brother Abel and killed him. And the question is, what did Cain say? You can see Cain doesn't say anything here. So then the question is, what do those three dots represent? Did Cain not say anything? Did Abel not say anything? But did Abel respond with a look, with a gesture? Did Abel just turn around and walk away? Sometimes rage is created by the gestures that we make. I think more people die in the highways and the freeways of America and other countries because of lewd gestures that people give or a look they give outside the window than by anything that's heard. And we do the same thing in how we respond to other people. Did Abel make a face? Did he give this mocking gesture? Did Cain follow him, really upset and not get any response from Abel? And then Cain kills him. Now remember, this is the first murder. And so how did Cain even know what was going to result when he hit him, when he knocked him down? Whatever happened, he kills his brother. The very first murder, he kills 25% of the world population, right? Greatest mass murder in the history of the world. And God says to Cain, where is your brother Abel? And Abel says, I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? Of course, that's the famous sentence. And the response for us is, yes, we are our brother's keeper. We are responsible for other people. So not only are we responsible for ourselves, we are responsible for others. And then God says, what have you done? Hark, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Therefore, you shall be more cursed than the ground which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. If you till the soil, it shall no longer yield its strength to you. You shall become a ceaseless wanderer on the earth. You have buried your brother. You have made the earth complicit in your deed. You will never again be able to gain anything from the ground. You will have to be a ceaseless wanderer. You will never be able to till the soil and grow anything again. And what does Cain say? My punishment is too great to bear. Since you banished me this day from the soil, and I must avoid your presence and become a restless wanderer on earth, anyone who meets me may kill me. Of course, the question is, there are only 4 people. Who are all these other people who might go and kill him, right? The Lord said to him, I promise, if anyone kills Cain, 7-fold vengeance shall be taken upon him. And he puts the mark of Cain on him. What did you think the mark of Cain was? It was not a mark of disgrace. It was a mark of protection. And the Lord put this mark on him, lest anybody who sees him should kill him. And he leaves the presence of the Lord and settles in the land of Nod. And then just look at the next sentence. Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. And again, we have that question, well, where did these other people come from? In the non-Orthodox, in the Orthodox community, in the Orthodox tradition, they say, well, not everybody who is important is going to be mentioned in the Bible. And here you had multiple births. When Cain and Abel were born, they were triplets, they were twins. So who did Cain marry? One of his sisters. The reason that the rabbis say it's not mentioned is because it becomes an incestuous relationship. They don't want to glorify that. But that's where other people come from. In the scholarly world that is not Orthodox, of course, we say the Torah is comprised of stories. And these stories may be intact stories, but don't have an easy exit into the next story. And so they don't always look like it flows. But what you do have here is a story that does not flow into the next, Cain and Abel, Adam and Eve, and we don't try to stick our right elbow into our left ear by justifying the wording. It is a story, part of a fabric of stories that we just gain lessons from. And so what are the lessons that we gain from our Torah portion? First, that God wants our best interests. Secondly, that God wants us to do more good than evil, that we are responsible for one another, and that it would be nice if we do something that angers somebody else, that we reflect upon what it might be, something that Cain did not seem capable of doing, looking at what his behavior was that may have led to God's rejection of his sacrifice, and realizing, hey, maybe it's not all God's fault because he rejected my sacrifice. Maybe I was complicit in that as well. And let me understand what my role was in the creation of the estrangement that we now have in our relationship. Maybe we need to share the blame. We're now going to do a Misha Berach for those who are not well. Those of you who are watching us virtually, if you want to put any names in the chat, please do so. Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham Yitzhak v'Yaakov Yumotenu Sarav Karachel Valeah Hu Yevarach v'Rabbeinu Cholim. May he who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal these who are sick. I'll go through the congregation. Bonnie. Thank you. Other names? Paula. Thank you. Lou. Thank you. Thank you. Judy. Thank you. Anyone on this side that we neglected? Okay, this side, please. Mo. Thank you. Other names? Mike. Thank you. Other name? And Fran Kabalnik. Thank you. Other names? Marilyn. Thank you. Other names? So those of you who are watching virtually, you can also say the names. We may not hear them here, but they need to be expressed just as we're expressing them here, whether they're heard or not by us. Maybe they will be heard in another way. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishlach lehem bimheira refuat hanefesh v'refuat haguf v'toshach liYisrael v'nomar amen. May the All-Merciful restore these people to full health and to full vigor, along with all others who are stricken with illness, and let us say amen. We're going to have two blessings, one for the United States. Harachman hu yivarch haratzot habrit v'yagen aleha. May God bless the United States of America and protect her. And before we do a blessing for the state of Israel, thank you to Stan for sharing this with us. With a fifth of world's agricultural land now too salty for cultivation, Sally crop trials in India and Israel see treated seeds yield up to 32% more crops than regular ones. Israel is already famous worldwide for growing peppers and tomatoes in the arid, salty conditions of the desert. Now, an Israeli company has come up with an innovative way of enabling a wide range of crops, including rice, wheat, and cotton, to grow in saline soils on a large commercial scale. A team from Sally Crop, based in central Israel's Kfar Vitkin, sowed carrot seeds in trial beds in saline soil close to the Gaza border. Carrots are particularly sensitive to salt. And in that area, the land has become saltier over time because recycled sewage water is used for irrigation. Sally Crop has developed a non-genetically modified seed treatment for various crop varieties, vegetables, and grain seeds. The seed treatment stimulates a specific epigenetic of the plant, which enables crop growth and yield in high salinity soils or when irrigated with brackish water. They see that soaking these items in chemical cocktail under strict conditions and then planting them, then they deliver them to the market, and different cocktails are cooked up for different seed varieties, and they are able to produce in saline. Maybe Abel and Cain could have learned from that. We're now going to have a blessing for the state of Israel, and we'll have the Hagba and Galila please rise as well. Everybody else, please rise. Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'Goalo, Barech et Midinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu. V'zot haTorah asher nisa Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe Yisrael v'yorayt. Tie it on this side. Yisrael Yisrael V'yoraitachadu Torah, Torah, Hallelujah. Torah. This is the front on this side. Hallelujah. Good. Yeah, and now the yad. Torah, Torah, hallelujah. Thank you. Good. And now if you could just put it on the table. Torah, Torah, hallelujah. Eis chayim hi lama chazikim ba v'tomcheha meyushar deracheha darchei noam v'chon netivoteha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha Benashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem. We remain standing for Musa, page 21. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. V'yomadi v'rachirute v'michmachute b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael bagala bagala uv'zman kariv v'yemaru amen yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach Leolam leom meomaya Yitbarach Yitbarach Vishtabach Vitbar Vitrumam Yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Kudusha Berichu Le'ela Mikol B'chata V'shirata Tush B'chata V'neh Damiran Bialma V'yimaru Amen. Page 22, we back up 3 steps forward, put our heels together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'zocher Chasdei Avot Umevi Goel Livnei V'neihem Leman Shemo V'Yahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Atagi Borli Olam Adonai Mechaye Metim Ata Rav Lahoshia Mashiv Aruach Umorid Hagashem Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofech Olim Umatir Asurim Umekayem emunato lishenei afar micha mocha bal givurot umido melach melech meimitu mechaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lahachayot meitim Baruch ata Adonai mechaye hametim Naritzcha v'nakadishcha v'sotziach sarfei kodesh hamakadishim shimcha b'kodesh kakatuv al yad nevi'echa v'kara ze'el ze v'yamar kadosh 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 Adonai tzvaot Meloch ol haaretz kevodo, kevodo male male olam, mishartav shoalim shoalim ze lazeh, Aye Mikom, Mikom Kivahodo. Aye Mikom, Mikom Kivahodo. Liumatam Baruch Yomeru. Baruch Kivod Adonai Mimikomo. Mimikomo Hu Yifen. Hu Yifen Berachamim. V'yachonam ham yachadim shemo. Erev avoker b'chol yom tamid. Pamayim bi'ava shema omrim. Shema Yisrael. Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Echad. Oh Eloheinu Avinu. Oh Malkeinu. Oh Avinu Malkeinu. Oh Moshienu. Vehu Yashmienu Berachamav. Shenit li'enei kol chai. Vehu yashmienu berachamav. Sheni li'enei kol chai. Liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Uv'divrei kodshecha katuv lemor. Yimloch Adonai le'olam. Elohai Zion. Vador, hallelujah. The Drovador Nagid, God Lechel, Netzach, Netzachim, Kedushat Chanaktish, Veshivchacha, Eloheinu, Mipinu, Leamushli, Alam, Ba'ed, Yelmel Kadov, Kadosh, Atabaruch, Ataronai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated, page 23. Yismechu b'malechutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat Yismechu b'malechutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshei, Mekadeshei Shavi Shabbat, Ulam Yispu, Vidangu Bituvecha Shabbat Yismechu b'malechutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat Yismechu b'malechutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Uvashvi'i ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat, Chemdat yamimoto karata, Zecher l'maseh v'reishit. And now, before we chant our concluding prayers, Jordan will share some announcements. All right. So I'm sorry you said that withstand hearing that because
Shabbat Shalom. And by the way, since this is birthday Shabbat, happy birthday to Julius Henry Marks, aka Groucho, and Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. I would say that word, but actually it's not Jewish to say that word. Our board meeting will be on Wednesday, October 6th at 7:30 p.m. via Zoom, where I guess virtual pistachios will be enjoyed. On Thursday, October 14th at 7:30 p.m. we will be gathering around the rabbi's virtual tish via Zoom and on our own chairs. Mark your calendars for our mitzvah day on Sunday, November 14th. It will take place at Temple Judea in their social hall, assuming the coronavirus is under control, because some people think the coronavirus is getting a booster shot too. Proof of vaccination and mask wearing will probably be required, but we'll know more about it as we get closer to the event. We will be doing our backpack program again this year. And the details are in the Shir notes. And be on the lookout for a flyer so you can sign up and tell us how many backpacks you want to sponsor. Our next Shabbat service will be October 16th at 10:30 here in Rita's room, and will also be available via streaming. They can't hear me on the, okay. Oh, if I, oh, okay. Oh, project, right. Hold it. Oh, no, okay. For those of you who are watching via video, you can see that Rita's room is relatively large, and you don't even have, you can be so far away. Look, yeah, we have people there we can't even see, they're so far away. So come to services, participate, make sure we have a minyan, and you won't even have to, nobody else will know you're here, and you won't know that they're here. So come. October 16th at 10:30 a.m. And there's a Kiddush. For our further services and other programs after October 16th, because I go from Shabbat to Shabbat, please check your Shir notes. Anybody have anything? Yes, Sam. It's a mailing. It will be a mailing being sent out, which, according to the latest reports from the post office, now takes 5 days. So give us some time. Be patient. Anything else? Shabbat Shalom.
Okay. Thank you, Jordan. Okay. Raise your hand if you can hear me. So this continues to be a work in progress for the 7 people who are watching. Oh, we're up to 8. All right. As soon as we get a minion watching, we'll get another microphone out here. And for every 10 people, we put more microphones out. Okay, so. Okay, well, thank you for those of you who are watching. It encourages us to want to continue to make sure we do this right. And we're now going to join together in the singing of Ein Keloheinu on page 24. Ein Keloheinu, ein Kadoneinu, ein Kimokeinu, ein Kimoshienu, Micheloheinu, Michadoneinu, Michimokeinu, Michemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adoneinu, Nodel Emokeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonai,nu Baruch Makeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonai,nu Atahu Makeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, lated gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומשה ביקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו, וגבי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אינות, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב ביורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל V'al ha'aretz, v'al ha'aretz, mitachat einot, einot. Okay, Nikolai. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo 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 echad. Please be seated. However, if you are in mourning or observing Yahrzeit, remain standing as we observe these Yahrzeits of the coming 2 weeks. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. Morris Eisdorfer, Lena Greenbaum, Marsha Bonnie Schuster, Evelyn Cherub, Minnie Daniels, William Frankel, Louis Lefsky, David Kay, Alfred Weiser, Sarah Drucker, Terry Kirshner, Francis Mintz, Bella Fisher, Max Goldstein, Sheldon Goldstein, Margot Weiss, Hilda Goldfarb, Joan Gort, Morris Fisher, Harold Dine, Dora Eisdorfer, Pearl Spinner, Paul Voloshin, Bertha Silverman, Sarah Rebecca Stark, Ben Besbach, and Sadie Gold. Are there Yahrzeits that we've neglected? The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 25. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kari v'yimeru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach li'olam u'la'omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imeru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Please be seated. Thank you to Helga for setting up a kiddush. We are entitled to eat outside. Eating is not allowed inside the buildings in the campus, but we will be taking the table out, and then so we'll need a couple of strong men to help to take the table out after we finish our final hymn, and then we'll do a kiddush outside together, and then you can sit around the tables in what used to be our sukkah. So let's join together on page 26. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Hoveh Vehu Yiyeh B'tifahara Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shem Kravi Acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Hoveh Vehu Yeh B'tifahara Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikravi Acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Hoveh B'tifahara Vehu Haya Vehu Hoveh B'tifara ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh B'tifara ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh B'tifara. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Uh, so for those for Benji, if you're still listening, let's see if we can figure out what's going on with this microphone here. Can you hear this? That's it. The question is why? Why I shouldn't have to turn it off. So I wonder whether it's because he didn't speak directly into the microphone, or if it's just not working. So if you could let me know what's going on with this mic. Uh, Ema is on the is looking in, and she's on WhatsApp, so you can let us know on WhatsApp. Okay. Shabbat shalom, everybody at home. Thank you all for tuning in, and enjoy the next couple of weeks. And we'll see you back here in 2 weeks. Bye. Okay, I'm turning the other mic off. All right, the other mic is off. Are you able to hear this mic? So go ahead and tell me now. Can you hear? This is Shayna. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Shayna? Very low, but you can hear me. Let me see if I boost this. Shayna, let's raise this up. Let's raise this up. Checking 1 2. Checking 1 2. All right. Is this better? Can you hear me a little bit better now? Oh, like non-existent. Okay. So we'll have to just figure out how to boost this. Let me see what happens if I go into here. Checking 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Let's raise that. 1 2 3. All right, because the microphone seems to be working on the mixer. All right, can you hear me now better? It's better, but still quiet. Okay, so thank you, Shayna. I will play around with this and try to figure out how to do this better. Shabbat shalom. Love you. Bye. All right, let's